Well, hello there, everyone. Here to show you that the word non-refundable is a coloring activity right here. It's basically talking about it's like the definition. It's like for the word non-refundable. And if most of us have shopped before and knowing about the type of word right here is for non-refundable. It is. And anybody may be thinking about that yeah, for non-refundable. And anybody like with me though to think about it, it's like for NON, it's like for NON refundable, for non-refundable, and basically showing it's like what does it really mean? It basically means that anything, if you would be shopping around somewhere, like maybe if it was the mall or if it was some retail store, maybe bought yourself a pair of shoes or maybe some groceries or something like that, anything related to say smartphone or smart watches or anything like that, that most likely though that like to the electronics store it is that I think that we may be more likely to teach most of our kids as knowing about that any money that you may make on like what you call like you say a weekly allowance is basically that if you want to buy something online through the online electronic store it is any young kids it is that if you were to buy something and then knowing about that they got these rules in terms of policies of how it's purchased it is, and with most purchases, if you were to go out and shop somewhere, such as maybe Walmart.com or if it's OfficeDepot.com or something like that, I know a couple times that I would shop on online sites it is. And like they usually say that is to collect like what they say confirmation number and stuff like that. But if you were to go out and buy a pair of shoes, it is, and anybody maybe think about like let's say maybe on like eBay, internet sites is that that if you were to order something, and I was also thinking about if you were to be ordering Girl Scout cookies, you say online it is, and basically that it's like that after you get your order, and then maybe if you're not 100% satisfied with it, and then that more likely that there's going to be a policy about knowing about it, that if you're not happy with your order, then some people may think about send it back, we'll refund your money, and some people may think about it's like nope, it's non-refundable, that any money that you put for a down payment or for a deposit or anything like that, that the non-refundable, that we would not pay you, refund your money, pay you back the money it is. And with anybody that maybe think about what so far as for non-refundable, it basically talks about applies mainly for like vacations. That's if some people plan ahead of time to plan a vacation or you say or a party or anything like that, and if it requires a certain kind of deposit it is, and knowing about that that hey that with your deposit it is, it's like well, and then after maybe a few days and then plan it gets either postponed or canceled it is, or that the event it's like that knowing about maybe the weather may have interfered, and then knowing about that's that so far as the amount of money of course going on a vacation trip or anywhere that more likely that like is at times that they say that there's usually like a form that they say that all payments are non-refundable. It's like the payments done between Eastern Standard Time or something like that are non-refundable. And with most customers though that we would probably think about is if we were to buy something at the grocery store it is, especially if it's taken out of the package, and we could probably think about hey non-refundable, no kidding, why not? Like, well, I want to talk to a manager. I want to talk to a manager about this because I got the receipt, and more likely it's like, yep, well, this receipt's not going to be good enough, sir, madam, because we got the rules of the policy it is. And with most of the time that I see on definition is knowing about, it's like I guess if you call it say obligation it is, say call it, it's like say habla. If you call it something like say I know say say if it's obligation, or if it's guaranteed guaranteed, or if it's like what you call like so far as non-refundable, or say for warranted or anything like that, paid for or anything like that. But Anyway, that if you were to go out and spend money, it is, and then knowing about that yeah, with a kid that's only about maybe maybe an 8-year-old kid that maybe want to go in there and go shop, and then if they want to go out and buy what you call maybe a pair of glasses, it is knowing about that they come back home with the receipt, maybe with like what you call like they may look at it as like something like this right here, to where then they may not want to read this, or they may not understand that, or something like that. Like to talk about that there's a form you say that they were giving on the receipt saying that purchase is non-refundable. And with most of us, like with me though, we'd probably think about with non-refundable, it'd be nice if you would have told me that before I purchased my item it was. And even though if the word were like something like we say is cash back, anybody probably think about that, cash back. And with some places that they may say with gift cards, a lot of times that they would say store credit, gift, more likely it will be store credit. Say store credit, you say deposited, say deposited, you say on a gift card it is. Say transfers, any transfers or anything like that, they're like, well, it's like refund your money, and then it'll go transferred, back onto your you'll be you'll say cash credit, back onto the card it is. And most of the time, if I'm sure that with most customer service desks, then they would have issues about talking about so far the word non-refundable. But I would probably think about is like that one line right here is knowing about, if it's done in cursive, is knowing about for the smart choice it is talking about right here for smart choice is whenever you go out shopping it is. And we could probably think about whenever we go out shopping, if you may not want to take a whole lot of time to pick out, say what you would want, if you got your reading glasses on or something like that, of knowing about so far as non-refundable it is that knowing about that you may have known that, or you didn't know that, and basically talking about is like that if whatever amount of money that was deposited, of course, in the bank, or if it's like in the account or anything like that on the card, do the calculations and find out that you've already paid, that some people may think that you've already made a deposit of 20%. You already made a deposit of 20%, and then from there, and it goes like from deposit of 20%, so altogether about maybe about 122 or so dollars for deposit it is. And for whatever that goes on, and if you plan ahead of time, then it's possible that so far as working out the math problem, which cause subtraction or addition, or so far as multiplication it is. But so far as talking about is like for the word non-refundable it is. It's like between refundable and non-refundable, and anybody probably think about so far is between free and fee it is. And I guess more likely they go by for the respect of the rules it is. The respect of the rules of knowing about is like for non-refundable means it's like maybe non-negotiable, maybe a non-exchangeable, non-tradable, whichever it is. But knowing about that, yeah.